Hi, this is Young One. You guys can call me Philip, the team leader of Yoyofriends, and today we're going to do an overview on the Yoyofriends Netrunner, our company intro. Yoyofriends, the manufacturer team FPM, and us Yo players across the world combined together to make awesome videos and give back to the Yo community. Recently, we're sponsoring the Japan National Yo Contest and also the upcoming US National Yo Contest. All right. First look of the yo-yo. So this yo-yo started back in 2024, around mid to late 2024, when we're trying to make a bimetal that is wider than the Paragon X. Paragon X was 48 millimeter wide, and that was our flagship, using the latest generation outer wrapped around outer ring technology, dips down, just massive volume on the outside. So we're like, okay, we're trying to make this project. We're gonna use a V shape for symbol design because we're trying to make this kind of cheaper. This was one of our candidates for the 9th anniversary. However, the cost of manufacturing is so high, we cannot do it. We cannot keep the price down. So this is now a standalone release, and the hypercut became our 9th anniversary yo-yo. So yeah, generic V shape, and the rings were like, okay, let's use a new technology, kind of like hollow ring technology. The ring itself is not exactly hollow, but the way it sits with the, in this case, 7075 aluminum, because we want to try different material, it sits like this. So there's a little bit of a hollowness here between the rim and the aluminum where it sits, and the aluminum the SS goes outside like that. So there is a hollow space, circular, inside these rims. These two yo-yos have almost similar rim weight, like around almost 20 grams. However, you can see the volume of the Netrunner is much larger than the Paragon X, even though they weigh the same because of the hollowness inside. All right, prototype 1 was made in 2024 here. However, I think this has more hollowness inside. Mine plays perfectly fine, but others did not. There's a bunch of vibiness, and the yield was like 50%. It's not doable. However, they made prototype 2. That was a blue one. I give mine to James, and that is this. We didn't change anything. So prototype 2, they narrowed down the hollowness on the hollow ring, so it's now a little bit less, and that worked perfectly. And at NER and PNWR, James Hatter, one of our Yoyofriends player, used it, and he won NER with it. Stephen Madden, he used that yo-yo to compete in PNWR and the upcoming nationals as well. Connor Newman will use this also at the US Nationals, and we have a signature colorway, I think it was lilac, for Stephen Madden because of his excellent contribution for the past 6-7 years. Wow, time goes by. All right, so spec, the full spec of this yo-yo, I'll have it here. So the spec is around like the same as a ultra cut. It's 58 by 50, so it's pretty wide and big. And same diameter, same width. So we use this because the ultra cut is very popular for zoning, and also the new competition meta where you need a wide yo-yo and a heavy, powerful yo-yo for long combos, especially in the horizontal department and like above the head and all that stuff. Mine is a B grade, so the smoothness on this is a 9 out of 10 for me. I think the A grades will be 10 out of 10, but mine is 9 out of 10. So, but mine is a B grade. All right, power on this is very powerful. It sits around 65.5 grams, which is not super heavy now in terms of bimetal. The newer ones are pushing 66 to 68 grams. So this one is still very powerful because the ring weight is still around 20 grams. So that is a lot of ring weight, SS ring weight. And also it's using the hollow ring technology, so more volume of the rings are setting more on the outside to make up for that wideness. So you can power through like super long combos, especially like those one throw like prelims, a whole minute. You can power through that. Yeah, so super duper powerful on the power development. Stability is super stable. It's not gonna be like as stable as, let's say, if it's like the same dimension and it's like solid ring, but it's still, like I said, 20 grams of ring weight. So that is just ridiculous, and in this wide yo-yo, with this wide body, achieving that, we kind of have to use the hollow ring technology without making it too heavy, right? Because this sits at 65.5. So, yeah. All right, so that is stability. The acceleration on this yo-yo is also pretty good. You can accelerate this yo-yo pretty fast. Why? Because the generic V shape. I'm sorry for that generic, but this is just a simple V shape, right? This yo-yo accelerates very fast because of its V shape. And yeah, lot of ring weight. The center is flat cup. So that's actually a lot of center weight. Actually, that's actually more than like a parabola or like a protruding axle sticking out, because this is material spread evenly throughout the center. There's like a thick layer of center weight in there for high RPM acceleration. Top speed on this yo-yo is actually not the best. That depends on the skill of the player. If you're super good, you can go past it. The stability, because the massive ring weight will kick in and carry over. So yeah, if you override it, the top speed is very good. Just go watch James Hedder's NER. He pushed it with no problem. I think this yo-yo, instead of like super high-end top speed, it's more about pacing. I would say this yo-yo, the top speed and acceleration is around a Graviton and Gravitoni. Slightly slower than Overclock, and it's definitely slower than like the Tachyon, Hummingbird, and Peregrine X's. Those are speed demons, right? But this is still respectable. It's definitely, I would say, medium fast, faster than average, a lot faster than average, but it's not in a higher tier, higher echelon with traditional speedy Yoyofriends bimetal and monometal sometimes. It's flow. So there is some flow into this because of the hollow ring technology or the construction of this yo-yo. This yo-yo definitely have that more, I would say, not super aggressive spin to it compared to like, let's say a Peregrine X or a Nucleon where the ring is solid. You can feel the hollowness, and in horizontal situations, the yo-yo actually flows around and hangs in the air longer. That is pretty cool. So yeah, it's got like more hang time in the horizontal department, and you can definitely feel there's something going on with the hollow ring that is making the yo-yo not feel bland at all, because this yo-yo, let's be honest, looks kind of bland, but does not play bland, right? Float, not too much float, because the ring weight is 20 grams. It doesn't matter if it's hollow or not. The stability is gonna override it. So no quirky accelerations. This is a comp yo-yo. This yo-yo does exactly what you want to do most of the time, especially on stage in a contest. Horizontal on this yo-yo is excellent. Because it hangs in the air a little bit longer, you can hit your hooks, which I cannot do for the life of me. Because it's got that hang time, you got more time to do your hooks, horizontal hooks or horizontal whatever, zoning tricks over the head, and do all that. But for me, as a traditional horizontal player who just do like normal combos like this, I do want the speed to be a little bit faster. However, the floatiness definitely is there, and then you can like just follow along with the yo-yo, and it's very good, right? If you follow along with the yo-yo, go with the flow of the hollow ring, it's perfect, right? So horizontal is actually one of the standout, especially if you're a more advanced zoning player. It will be like one of the best for that. Buying on this yo-yo, so this yo-yo is 4.56 millimeter gap width, pretty wide. So kitty fat, OT normal, OT fat. I just use OT fat, I would say. So around there, kitty fat, kitty XL, those are my recommendations. And it binds pretty good. V shape, I'm using kitty normal. So kitty normal is a little bit too thin, but that's what I'm used to. So finger grind on this yo-yo, it's pretty good. This is B-Box at 70-75. The surface is not going to be as good as the 70-68 or 60-61, but it's still pretty good. You can do long finger grinds, and in this case, this version of the olive with the blasted ring, the rings are also blasted, so you can also kind of like grind even with the rings. Yeah, like that. And the yo-yo is still fine, but I don't know who still finger grinds anymore. But it's definitely fun. You can do it, and this version you can do it with your whole hand, because the rings are also be blasted. Thumb grinds, you can definitely do them because there's a lip here. It's not big, but the way the yo sits, there's a lip. So you're not really touching the SS. You're touching the 7075 aluminum, which if you have finger grinds, thumb grind is no problem. Finger spin is average, it's a generic flat cup. I mean, like, I don't know how you define like flat cups, but it's just a flat cup. Like, is that good or bad? I don't know. If you think flat cup is above average, it's above average. If you think flat cup is like bad, then for finger spin, then it's just bad, I guess. But for me, it's fine. You can definitely do it. You can put out DNAs or whatever, no problem. All right, so the conclusion of this video is made for the modern competition meta. It's built for horizontals and zoning, and also have that flow because of the hollow ring technology. This yo-yo is pretty big, it's 50 by 58, so it's definitely built for more modern yo-yo tricks, or as some pro players call them, Johns. The tricks done by John kids, so very John kids friendly, I would say. And yeah, so this yo-yo is built for that, especially in the horizontal. If you follow with the flow and it's got that hang time, you can do all the tricks there. But if you're more a traditional tech player who just do speed and stuff, maybe this yo-yo is not for you. Or if you're a little bit more beginner, this is not beginner friendly. This is a big yo-yo, very powerful. It's got that flow, very kind of intimidating, but this is just our best performing yo-yo all around, especially in the current meta by far. Like, everybody switched out of Paragon X for this because of the meta, right? So yeah, this is our best competition yet. We will match this in the future, and this is just a very good base of platforms like the outer ring technology, the hollow ring technology, etc. for our upcoming yo-yos. This is just a great start, a great base, a great design to build on this platform, right? So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.